Here we are, me, Damon, and Jason, just relaxing and having a little picnic, and we want to discuss some of the feedback we've been getting.
Probably about 90% of the feedback we've gotten has been positive, but we're not really going to comment on those. What's there to say, but thanks.
We received a couple emails criticizing us for reinforcing a stereotype.
I'd like to address that. Stereotypes are like legends and myths. They all have their basis in reality. There are certain things that come with the territory. We all have similar tastes in music and clothes, but there was never any dress code. I never told anybody how to dress. We do tend to wear a lot of black. It's just the way I've always been. I've always been into punk rock and goth and metal and rockabilly and stuff like that, and so it just became natural for me to always wear that stuff. It's what I enjoy. I think it's cool. If we're living up to a stereotype, good, I guess. I don't know. But I don't think we're living up to a stereotype because we've got so much other stuff in our show. We've got culture, politics, animals, traveling, humor, parody. I don't see it as very stereotypical. And for the record, the music at the opening is not heavy metal, it is shockabilly. It's my friend's band called Psycho Charger.
Well, the opening credits of the show rock. What else do you expect from a show like this?
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
We have a gentleman named Chris from the 600 Club who says he doesn't like the camera work because it says it's too jumpy.
Jumpy camera work, let me address that. It's actually the editing that's jumpy because I cut back and forth all the time. Anytime somebody takes a breath, every time somebody goes, I'm cutting that out. I want to speed up the pace. So cutting back and forth can get distracting at times, but what can I say? That's the way I'm going to do it because I want to pick up the pace.
Okay, we have another one here from someone, guy, girl, by the name of my henshin, and basically stating that we're lame, and infantile.
Henshin, okay, hen, kind of like a bird, you know, the chicken. Shin, like the leg. Chicken leg, okay. Sounds like a real chicken to me. They don't even use their real name. What a wuss. But to call us childish, to think that we're infantile.
We got a comment from Banshee, who said that she found us stereotyped and that we look staged. I commented more fully on this online on the Worldwide Satanism message board. Now, Banshee does note that she didn't bother to watch most of the video.
She didn't watch the whole thing? And then this bean dip person is pointless. I mean, we try to make a variety of things. We try to make it something that a lot of people will enjoy. She is too narrow-minded and is not worth the time of day. Unfortunately, Jeff in Chicago also did not watch the whole thing. But with all due respect to my friend Jeff, he's Christian, nothing wrong with that, I guess, but I guess he was kind of irritated about my criticism of Jesus Christ, but I don't remember ever actually having denounced Jesus Christ's philosophy personally. As I understand it, I'm pretty much trashing the Christian right for the things they do all over the world.
I got another one right here, and it says, none of you has a clue about the true satanic rulers of America. It's all fun and games to you until someone is made to eat their baby.
I don't eat red meat. But all the carbs in them dead babies. I'm on a diet.
I like baby back ribs too.
I like my babies extra crispy. What the hell is that email about? Is that a joke?
From Cat and Candy.
Cat and Candy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll eat candy, but I haven't eaten too many cats. Well, I think all this hate mail requires some pickle juice.
In our previous episode, we discussed violence committed at the command of the God of the Bible. In this episode, we'll look at who's telling the truth and who's telling lies by going straight to the source in the book of Genesis and the story of the Garden of Eden.
So how does Lucifer, whose name means bringer of light, by the way, compare to God in the morality rankings? For the record, nowhere in the Bible does it describe Satan as the ruler of evil or as evil's originator. Let's see who is really the benefactor of mankind and who the oppressor by going straight to the beginning. Genesis chapter 3, the story of the Garden of Eden. According to the popular understanding of the story, an understanding imposed by the selective interpretations of Jewish and Christian preachers. The serpent tempted Adam and Eve into eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge, thereby causing them to become mortal and get kicked out of paradise. But is that the whole story? Let us look at what the Bible itself has to say. It states firstly that, in the midst of the garden, God set the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God then says to Adam, "You may eat from any tree in the garden except from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. On the day you eat of it, you will surely die." So, according to God, if Adam eats the fruit from the tree of knowledge, on that day he will die. But later the serpent appears and speaks to Eve of the fruit of the tree. The serpent says, "Of course you will not die, for God knows that as soon as you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God himself, knowing both good and evil." So the serpent says that, rather than dying, Adam and Eve will become able to see things as God sees them, knowing both good and evil. So what does happen when the young couple eat of the fruit? It says of Eve, "She took some of the fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened." Adam and Eve now realize that they are naked and hasten to put together some fig leaf pasties. God realizes what they have done and curses them and the serpent. He then says, "The man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. What if he now reaches out and takes fruit from the tree of life also and eats it and lives forever?" So God casts his supposedly beloved human creations out of paradise, which he puts under guard to make certain that Adam and Eve and their descendants can never again gain access to the tree of life. So then, let's recap. God says that if they eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge, they would die. The serpent said that if they ate of the fruit, their eyes would be opened and they would become like the gods themselves. So what happened when they ate of the fruit? Did they die? So who was the liar and who told the truth? The serpent taught Adam and Eve to obtain knowledge, to become godlike. The God of the Bible tried to prevent them from gaining knowledge, and when they did anyway, he cast them out in fear that they might also gain immortality and threaten his power. The God of the Bible stands condemned by his own book, his own propaganda piece, cannot hide the sorry truth. And yet people continue to regard him as the good guy, and Lucifer as the evil one. I don't expect our viewers to treat the Genesis story as literal truth. It isn't. If anything, it is even more powerful as allegory, as myth and symbolism. It lays out clearly, when one actually reads the text, the difference between an oppressive tyrant masquerading as a kindly father figure in between bouts of brutality, and mankind's true benefactor, the spirit of life and light known as Lucifer, bringer of light.
To end our 5th episode, I'll show you rare footage of me with the real live venomous scorpion. This is a shot taken from an independent movie I made back in the 1990s called Devils, Dragons, and Vampires.
Ow! My scorpion just stung me!
So, suck the poison out!
Oh, okay, if you think it'll help.